Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle. Today I have a gentle yoga practice to support you with your cold recovery. This is intended for the recovery stage when you are on the mend to help you move out any congestion, inflammation, stagnation, or just anything lingering left over from your cold. I myself have been down with the flu for almost 2 weeks, so I am in that recovery stage as well, and thought I would create something to help all of us since it is flu season right now, and we could all just use a little extra support to help us get ourselves back into the mend. Props we'll be using today, either a pillow, somewhat firm pillow, a bolster, a yoga bolster if you have that, and a blanket if you'd like to have that during your shavasana just to keep yourself warm. Maybe some nice cozy socks, something comfy cozy to wear. And also I'm going to suggest having some tissue, as we will be doing some breathing techniques to help clear out the nasal passages and the lungs. So if you have any residual congestion in the chest or even still in the sinuses, you might want to clear that out. So having some tissues on hand might be really helpful. And then also I'm going to be using a little peppermint oil. So if you have essential oil, peppermint, or eucalyptus, just to also kind of just give a little assist in allowing the nasal passages and the lungs to open up. Okay, so if you want to go grab all those things, and I will meet you back here. All right, so coming into our first pose, which will be a supported hero pose. So you're going to bring your pillow or bolster in between the legs and being mindful of any knee sensitivity or ankle sensitivity you may have. Maybe adding some extra padding if you need that. And I'm going to start with my essential oil, so the peppermint. And I'm just going to, mine happens to be in a roller, so I'm just going to roll that in the palm of my hand. Rub the palms together just to activate the oils. And then taking a few inhalations with just cupping my hands over my nose and mouth, not directly on it, just a little further away. And then rubbing the hands together again and just rubbing it down my arms. So that might be nice for you as well. And we will start with alternate nostril breathing. So resting your left hand on your thigh, bringing your right hand up, bringing the index and middle finger down, and bring your thumb to your right nostril. And we'll inhale through the left nostril for the count of 4. So inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, and then bring your index finger to your left nostril, release the thumb, exhale out the right nostril for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then inhale through the right nostril for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, close off the right nostril with the thumb, exhale out the left nostril for 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale here. Close it off. Exhale out the right nostril. Inhale here. Closing it off with the thumb. Exhale out the left nostril. And just continuing this flow on your own, noticing any congestion that you may be having here. Doing your best not to clench in the jaw or the facial muscles. And if you were able to use a peppermint oil or any sort of essential oil, you may notice the effects of that, the coolness of the peppermint or the eucalyptus as you take your inhalation. Taking one more round. Releasing that right hand down. And now inhaling as you take a deep inhalation through the nose. Just pay attention to your breath and the sensation through the nasal passages. And let's take an open mouth exhale. Softening through the shoulders, finding integrity in your posture. And just taking a moment here, tuning in. Honoring your body on its ability to recover. And honoring yourself for taking this time to utilize this practice to support you and your body with its recovery. Taking a cleansing breath, inhale through the nose, send the breath all the way to the belly, to the low back. Open mouth exhale. Good. Opening the eyes. Inhale, lengthen up nice and tall, and then take an exhale, let the right ear drop to the right shoulder. And then bringing that left hand to the floor of your fingertips, touching your mat or on your floor. And then let's bring that right hand up and over, finding length here in the left side of the neck. Taking one more breath. Release that right hand down, fingertips to the mat, just like the left hand. And then we're going to turn the chin in towards that right shoulder. And then slowly bring the chin to the chest. So just taking a little half roll here. Pausing here, stretching the back of the neck, the shoulders. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Bringing the head back up to center. Good. Take an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. As you exhale, left ear, left shoulder. And then bringing that left hand up and over. Taking one more breath here, breathing into the right side of your neck. Releasing that left hand down. Gently turning the chin in towards that left shoulder. And then letting the chin fall to the center of the chest. Taking a cleansing breath here into the throat. Open mouth exhale. Bring the head all the way back up. And then let's reach the arms all the way up. Palms of the hands facing each other. Palms come together. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Take a cleansing breath here. breathing into your heart space, into the lungs. Open mouth, exhale. Beautiful. Opening the eyes, release the hands down. We'll come off of our pillow or bolster and just set that off to the side. And making your way into an easy seated pose. And then planting that left hand to the floor, to the mat, reaching that left arm up and over. Side body stretch, press down through your left hip. Bending into that right elbow to just give a little bit more space to really reach through that left hand. And taking a big breath into the left rib cage. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, come back up to center. Let's float it right over to the left side. Pressing down through that right hip, reaching through the right hand. Big breath into the right side ribs. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, come back up to center. And now taking a twist over to the right. Right hand, left knee, right hand, left hand, right knee, right hand back behind you. Finding length, creating length through the spine as you root down through the sit bones, lengthen all the way up the spine, out of the crown of your head. And then breathing into your belly. So every time you take your inhale, fill the belly up. And as you take your exhale, pull the belly button towards the back of your spine, just gently massaging the intestines here. Again, helping the body move out anything that's been stuck or stagnant from the cold or from any medication you've been taking. Let's take one more breath here. Untwist, come forward, extend the arms back out, and then make your way over to the left side. Taking one more breath here. Big breath into the belly. Let's take an open mouth exhale as you pull the belly button to the spine. And then let the belly soften, untwist, coming forward. Very nice. Let's roll on over, coming into tabletop. So coming onto your hands and knees, stacking the shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees, have your feet hip width distance, and taking a few rounds of cat and cow here, rooting down through the hands first, spread the fingers nice and wide. Take an inhale, drop the belly, reach the heart forward, looking forward, tailbone up towards the sky. And then exhale, pressing it away, belly button to spine, chin to chest, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, come back into your cow. Exhale to cat. Let's take 2 more rounds. Coming into neutral spine and down onto our belly. So just come to the forearms, extend the legs out, making your way down nice and easy. Good. Pausing here in Sphinx pose. Maybe widen your feet if you have a little low back sensitivity, which I do, so always widening the legs, the feet, just creates a little bit more space in the low back. And then we want to lift the upper body up, reach the chest, the heart forward, draw the shoulders back. Breathing into the lungs. One more breath here. This time as you inhale, see if you can send the breath all the way to the low belly, to the low back. Open mouth, exhale. Soften on down, stack the hands, rest your forehead on your hands. Just taking a pause here, letting everything relax. Take a cleansing breath. And then bringing the head back up, bring the legs back in together. And we're going to extend that left arm out to the side, right palm of the hand to your mat, underneath the shoulder. Bend your right knee, and then you're going to roll onto your left side. Let the head, temple, that left temple come to your mat, or maybe the head rest all the way down. So opening up the chest here, getting into that left shoulder. And you may feel in this pose, in the chest, in the lungs, you have some residual congestion there. So just taking some slow, deep breaths. And taking a cleansing breath, inhale through the nose, breathe deeply, fully into the lungs. Open mouth, exhale. Making your way back onto your belly, nice and easy. Lower that right knee down. Extend the legs. And then let's come into a T. So before we go to the other side, just extend both arms out. Bring your right cheek to your mat. And we're just going to take a pause here. Let the shoulders relax. Take a cleansing breath. And then bending that left elbow, bringing the palm of the hand to the mat underneath the shoulder. Bend your left knee and then roll over onto your right side. Again, taking slow, deep breaths here. Cleansing breath. Rolling back onto your belly. Extending the arms back out to a T, this time bringing the left cheek to the mat, pausing and resting here. Cleansing breath. And bringing both hands in underneath the shoulders. We'll press ourselves up and back into a tabletop. And then we're going to tuck the toes under and come into a variation of puppy pose. So with the toes tucked under, send the hips back to the heels, reaching through the arms, really opening up the back, the ribs, and lowering forehead to the mat if that's accessible for you here. Bring some activation into the arms. And breathing into the lungs, the diaphragm, the belly, the back. Taking 3 more breaths here. And now let's invite in a cleansing breath with a pause. So inhaling through the nose, filling up the body. Pause. Breathe in, sip in a little bit more. And then taking a slow, open mouth exhalation. Sliding the hands down closer to you, pressing yourself up, coming into a tabletop again, and then lift the feet. Let's point and flex through the feet, rotate through the ankles. And then lowering the feet back down. Let's just make the wrist a little movement here. So bringing your right hand, make a tight fist, rotate through the wrist. And then switching over to the left hand. Any pop or snaps going on here? I have a little bit. Perfect. And now coming into downward facing dog. So bring the hands a little further out in front of you. Tuck the toes under. And when you're ready, sending the hips up and back. And have the feet about hip width distance or maybe a little wider, whatever feels good for you here. And just making any movements that feel good. Stretching through the calves. Your heels don't need to be to the mat. And we're really just here to help the body move out some stagnation. So just inviting in any movements that you feel your body needs. And then let's all just pause here. Taking 3 slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then a cleansing breath. Rolling up onto the balls of the feet. Roll yourself forward. We're going to lower the knees down. And coming into child's pose. Big toes to touch. Widen the knees. Come back, sending the hips right to the heels. And maybe you invite in bringing your pillow here. So making this a little bit more restorative. Oops, excuse me. And you can bring the pillow or bolster between the legs. And bring your hands to the mat and lengthen out of your low back first. So try to really sink the hips to the heels and then reaching, lifting up out of the low back as you make your way into this beautiful, yummy resting pose. Breathing in and out through the nose, relaxing your shoulders, the jaw. If you had your head turned to one side, to even out the neck, turn it to the other cheek. And taking one more breath here. And coming up out of the pose. And just turn your pillow or your bolster horizontally. And then bring the knees in together, the legs in together. And we're just going to shift ourselves over to the left hip. And then turn yourself to the back end of your mat, having the pillow back behind you. Extend the legs all the way out. And then we're going to cross that left leg on top of the right. Take an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. And then you're just going to bring the hands to your mat and walk yourself forward into a fold here. Lifting up and reaching out of the low back. Now, if you'd like to intensify this stretch, bring that left hand over with the right and then walk your hands a little further over to the right while pressing down through that left hip. It's a nice stretch for the hamstrings, the IT band, the low back, mid back. And one more breath here. Bringing the upper body back to center and then bringing the upper body back up. And we'll switch legs. So right leg crosses over the left, lifting up out of the low back, walking yourself into a fold here. Maybe bringing that right hand over to the left. Keep pressing down through that right sit bone, right hip. 2 more breaths here. Let's take a cleansing breath, breathing deeply into that right side low back. Good. Walking yourself back to center, fold, and then bring the upper body back up. Uncross the legs. Let's give them a little wiggle, a little shake. And now we'll recline back with the pillow underneath the upper back. So you can bend your knees, shift yourself down. So we want the pillow right at the upper back. And then just lowering the head down, letting the arms open out to the side and extending the legs out. Maybe widen the legs, the feet. Breathing into the lungs, the belly, the diaphragm. Just a gentle chest opener. And taking one more breath here, cleansing breath. And bring the hands behind the back of the head, supporting the head and neck. Lift your head up with your hands. Good. And then bringing the hands to your mat, bring the legs in together and gently supporting yourself, coming all the way back up. And then making our way into an easy seated pose. I'm going to turn to face you. And we'll come into pranayama Brahmari breath, which is also known as the bee buzz breath. And we're going to focus on that breath being in the lungs and the chest. So I'm going to demonstrate what that is like and what it sounds like. So we're going to bring the hands to the chest, to the heart, over the lungs. And you're going to take an inhale, and we're breathing all the way through the throat and down into the chest and lungs. And then as you exhale, you're going to create the sound, the buzz of a bee. So it looks and sounds like this. And we really want to try to focus on elongating that exhale and that buzz, which creates the vibration to help loosen up any phlegm, any congestion that is lingering here in the chest and lungs. And just really please be mindful that you aren't carrying a lot of congestion right now. And this could just kind of stir everything up and cause you to go into a coughing spell. So just be mindful where you're at with your cold recovery. And yeah, just apply some TLC because you know your body better than I do. So let's just begin. Take your inhale. Slow exhale with your buzz. We'll take 3 more rounds. And really press the palms of the hands into the chest to connect with and feel for that vibration. 2 more rounds. Taking a cleansing breath into the lungs and chest. Release the hands, bring the tops of the hands to the knees with the palms facing up. Breathing naturally and just noticing any sensations that you're feeling here. Notice if you're able to breathe a little deeper or fuller into the lungs. And let's take a cleansing breath once again into the lungs, into the chest. Opening the eyes. Very nice. Let's take the pillows off of the mat and we're going to make our way down onto our backs. So lowering yourself on down, we'll come into happy baby. So widen the knees, send the feet up towards the ceiling and either holding on to the backs of your thighs or to the outer edges of your feet. Pressing down through the shoulders, pressing down through the low back, the sacrum. Bringing some activation here so the arms are nice and strong. You are intentionally trying to send the knees closer to the floor. So we're stretching through the hamstrings, the low back, as well as into the upper back, which is really great focus since we just worked on, the front of the chest, the lungs. So now I'm bringing our attention to the back of the lungs. And breathing into that space here. And let's take a cleansing breath into the lungs, into the chest, into the upper back. And then maybe you send that right leg out to the side, adding a little hamstring stretch here. Pausing here, lengthening through the leg, flexing that right foot. And then bending the knee, bringing it back in, and we'll extend the left leg out. Only if that feels good for you. And then bringing that leg back in. Let's release the feet. Send the feet up towards the ceiling. Bringing the legs and the feet together. Hands to the back of your thigh and just point and flex through the feet. Create some space between the feet and then let's rotate through the ankles. Making any little movements here that feel good. Bend the knees, wrap the arms around the legs, giving yourself a nice big hug. Maybe taking a few rocks side to side. Pausing here. Taking a cleansing breath. As you inhale, really focus on filling up the belly, filling up the back. And as you take your open mouth exhale, allow for the belly to soften, the back to release, just melt into the floor. Let the arms melt away from the legs. Lowering your feet to your mat, and then extending the legs all the way out, making your way into Shavasana, If you want to use your pillow here, of course you can do that, or maybe a blanket if you have that. Just getting really comfortable and cozy here. Let's take a cleansing breath to allow the body and mind to decompress. And just allowing all the movement and breath work and all the poses that we did, just integrate all of the benefits into the cells of your body and the body as a whole. Offering additional healing and recovery. And taking a full body cleansing breath. So inhaling through the nose, send the breath all the way to the toes, to the fingers, to the crown of your head. Slow open mouth exhale, cleansing the body one more time, releasing any stagnation, any congestion. And then bringing some gentle movement, wiggling the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles. Rocking your head side to side. Let's take a nice lengthening stretch. Bring the legs together, point through the toes, bring the arms back behind you. Extend and reach and lengthen. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bringing the arms down, bend the knees, bringing your feet to your mat, and then we'll hug the knees in, taking a few rocks side to side. And then rolling over to one side and pressing yourself up. And we'll make our way into an easy seated pose to close our time and our practice together. Let's stack the hands over the heart, over the lungs. Taking a cleansing breath here. Closing this practice with gratitude for your body and all the ways that it works to heal itself. And all the ways that it helps you do all that you do every day. And now taking a moment to give gratitude to yourself for saying yes for this practice. Gifting yourself some additional self-care and love. Let's bring the palms of the hands together. Sending you off with healing energy, healing light, and wishes for a speedy recovery. Namaste. If you enjoyed this practice and it served you well, may you please share it with somebody else. Give this video a like, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, if you could do that to offer and support free yoga, that would be much appreciated. And I will look forward to practicing with you again soon.